At Vincis, we believe winning is everything. And unfortunately, that means not losing is the first step. Oscar Wilde famously said, "You never get a second chance to make a first impression." And in a sales call, what that means is if you turn up and your presentation isn't at least as good as the competition's, you may just lose because it looks like you didn't put the effort in and you didn't put the time in. So this isn't about winning, this is about not losing. You need your presentations to be at least as impressive as the competition's. So we know that our websites are our front door, are our shop window. So everybody puts lots of effort into making sure our shop window looks good. But our presentation is also our shop window. In fact, actually, maybe it's more important. And it's more important because probably audiences are going to spend an average of 2 minutes looking at our website, but they will clearly spend 20 minutes or an hour sat in front of our salespeople looking at our presentations. And yet, bizarrely, we put all of the effort into the website and let the salespeople create the PowerPoint on the fly on the way to the presentation. And that loses deals. So how do we make sure our clients have impressive presentations? Well, let's talk about impressive for a second. This is a Van Gogh, and I have one of these, a print of this, hanging in my room. I like this. This is a Picasso that I wouldn't put on my fridge door unless it was done by one of my children. Now, other people are going to argue because some people really like Picasso and some people really hate Van Gogh. The problem with art is it is subjective. What I like, you may not like. And the same thing goes for your PowerPoint presentation. You may like the colors and the design and the layout of your PowerPoint presentation, and I may hate it. I may find it offensive. And either way, you cannot design it to ensure that it impresses me just because it impresses you, because it is entirely subjective. Whereas we think, actually, it's not about the art, it's about how well you communicate. That audiences will glance at your PowerPoint and then within 3 to 4 seconds be really interested in what have you got to say in your PowerPoint. And if you can impress people with the clarity of the communication, you're much more likely to impress them with the whole presentation than trying to impress them with the art and the graphics design of the presentation. And that's because this is subjective, whereas this is objective. You can test whether or not people have got the message or not. You can test whether they've understood the content of the presentation, whereas you can't test this. You can just hope. And so, what we have developed over the last 20 years is something we call Objective Quality Standards, or OQS. And this is a list of about 60 different rules that make the presentation impressive in the way that it communicates. We cover all sorts of things in the presentation to make sure that the audience understand what the presentation is about. So there's nothing distracting, there's nothing going to confuse them, there's nothing that's going to get in the way of them understanding what your presentation is about. And those OQS are what turns a presentation that's distracting and confusing into a presentation that's clear, concise, and compelling. And that's the difference between winning and losing. And we think that's important because at Vincis, winning is everything.